everyone. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince!
And it's time once again
to recommend things!
Vince, what do you recommend today?
Today, I'm recommending a movie. This is a DVD, but I'm sure you can find it on Blu-ray. Anyway, it is the movie known as Ray. This movie, when this movie first came out, I was super jazzed because at the time I really hadn't gotten into a bunch of newer music. I was really an oldies type of guy with spotty things here and there of a little bit of punk that friends had got me into. But when Ray came out, I was like, oh, I gotta go see it in the movie theater. Oh, the big movie theater. And they got it for 2 days and then got rid of it.
Really?
Yeah, the movie theater in my hometown. I was really annoyed, but I got to see it. So people were like, what's Ray? I'm like, now that the Academy Awards are here, everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
But when it was in theaters, anyway. Ray, for those of you who don't know, is about Ray Charles, the musician. And it's the thing about this movie is that what makes this movie so good is Jamie Foxx's performance. He is Ray Charles in this movie. It's one of those things like when the movie started, I felt like I was watching Jamie Foxx for about maybe a second, and then suddenly you're just transported in this world where Ray Charles is Jamie Foxx and vice versa. It's just these two people are embodied in one creature. I don't know. I'm being a little hyperbolic here, but I gotta say I really enjoyed his performance. There are certain moments in this movie that I feel are meant for a trailer, not for a movie. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's the only real downfall for me is that
that makes sense. They're kind of like the money shots.
Yeah, I spent all my time in the dark. And I'm like, well, you're blind and I understand what you're trying to say, but nobody would actually say that right now. That would be like, it'd be like, woman, I'm blind! I can't see a thing! But,
I know that. You've been this way forever.
Get off my back! But there are certain things that are
I've still never seen this. And I meant to. I mean, I love Ray Charles. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've never watched it.
I recommend it. It's
based on your recommendation.
I almost wrote a paper for my film class on this movie, but instead wrote one on Batman because she let me do it. But yeah.
No offense, but what does it say about you?
I like Batman.
I might have done that too.
but this movie, to my understanding, it's fairly accurate. I don't know. I think the musical numbers are worth it alone. It's just, it's not a musical exactly, whereas I could recommend another movie, a biopic about a musician, Beyond the Sea, where it is a musical. But this is really a biography. This is not a musical, despite that it's a very musical movie. I don't have a lot to say about it. I think this is an experience that people ought to have if they like this type of music. So you get to see Ray Charles, where he is experiencing troubles with rock and roll because, people really were upset at rock and roll and soul and all these things because they thought it was the devil's music, so you get to see that to some extent. You get to see Ray Charles' trouble or life troubles, he had drug addictions and yada yada, and you get to see how a blind musician, you get to see his strength. You get to see this guy doing what he does best. You get to see this guy going from an amateur into a professional. And the one thing that I really latched onto about this movie was they had a moment where Ray Charles was, or Jamie Foxx, but they had a moment where Ray Charles was, he imitates musicians because he everything in his world is about sound, so he can hear how Nat King Cole and all these other people would sing, and he just imitated. And then somebody said, no, you do a great this guy or that guy, but can't you do you? Can't you sing in a unique style that's your own? Because that's what we want. If we're going to print or something, or if we're going to do a record for you, why should I do it unless you are somebody significant? So Ray Charles is like, that's interesting, and then he develops his own style. So I think this movie is totally worthwhile. I really like Ray, and now that I've been long-winded and a little gushy over a movie that's maybe not that great. Just
How
really great
depressing is
performance.
that movie?
I think the movie is reasonably depressing.
Those kinds of biopics usually are. And knowing what I know about Ray Charles, I kind of figured it would have to be.
It's kind of endearing by the end of the movie because, you know, he's touched a lot of people's lives, and they have a lot of things in this movie that are about how Ray Charles touches other people. And there are a lot of things in this movie about the people Ray Charles has touched, i.e. his 2 wives. But, well, wife and girlfriend, I'm not sure you'd call them both wives.
It's so weird how sometimes when you come right out and spell out the dirtier jokes, they're even funnier. You know what I mean? Where it's like, wink, wink, not touch, and it's like, I meant his wives! Like, it's even funnier when you say it like that. Anyway.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. But I do recommend Ray. I feel like I've killed about 2 minutes worth of time that didn't need to be killed.
Does that go like his whole life? I mean, like, does it go to his death or like
quite a lot of his life?
Okay.
And it does talk about it. Actually, Ray Charles died before this movie was released. So
well, that's what I thought.
So they put a little note in about his.
So was it being made while he was still alive? That was the
Yeah.
part. I couldn't remember how that lined up. Okay, okay.
Ray Charles was definitely alive during the making of the movie, but he died before the release. So they put this little thing at the end about in memoriam. And,
Of course, yeah, that's neat.
And I just
Not neat that he died, but
oh, he died. Sweet. Oh, I remember the time that other guy died. It was a great
always
day.
makes a biopic better because there's completion, you know.
Speaking of biopics,
Sorry,
there's one
that
biopic
was
that
tasteless.
needs to be made.
Oh, okay. Who's that?
There's a Buddy Holly movie. There's a Richie Valens movie. Where's the Big Bopper movie?
Good call.
Yeah.
I've seen the Buddy Holly movie.
I own the Buddy Holly movie.
That's also depressing.
And I think what's his name? Gary Busey was also nominated for something for doing Buddy Holly because he did a really good performance.
Mm-hmm.
But and Ray, that's a good movie. It has nothing to do with the day the music died. But I really want because the Big Bopper, he was a disc jockey at one point, and he had a lot of flack in his life about rock and roll and how it's the devil's music, and there's you could make a reasonably standard or a reasonably amazing movie. I mean, the Big Bopper needs a movie made.
I can't believe I've not watched that. Ray Charles was one of my favorite guys growing up when I was a kid. Thanks. I'd like to watch that. He looks just like him.
It's amazing. It's really uncanny. And now, at my behest,
well,
what do you recommend
it's now
today?
time for the shameless promotion, the shameless self-promotion edition of We Recommend. I wasn't going to do this on Recommends. I was going to do a separate video, but Vince was like, no, you should do this on Recommends. So, if anybody's annoyed at me for talking about my own work on Recommends, I blame Vince, because he was like, you should do that. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm not sure, but okay. Anyway, so today I'm recommending the new edition of my book, now titled The Girl with 7 First Names. This just came out this month, and I just got my first copy. And, well, I've got a box of these now. But, I mean, like, I just got to see this for the first time in my Captain Little hands today. And anyway, so if you know anything about this from before, this is a book I self-published in 2010 under the title "Normal is a 4-Letter Word," and it's now been picked up by a local publisher that I just signed a contract with last year, and it's now out. It's on Amazon right now, and you can also get it through me because I've got, like I said, a box at home. So I will sign these if people want to buy them from me. So anyway, you can go to Amazon. I'll put a link in, but yeah, just look up The Girl with 7 First Names. Also, like I said, I'll sign them and send them to you from my place. There will be something, by the time this is up, there will be something on the website where you can send a direct PayPal to me. Anyway, so this is the new edition. I think it just looks fantastic. Obviously, it looks better than my old version because this is, actually published by a real publisher. So, in fact, what's really funny about this is that, like, I'm self-promoting because I wrote this, but, it's also going to help my publisher out. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, this is published by a new outfit called Argosy Press here in Kansas, out of Lawrence, Kansas, and we got a great. People with 2 first names are always trouble. That's kind of this like multiversal constant in my book in the multiverse, where if you have a first and a last name that both could be 2 first names, you're looking at each of them just with the hairstyles and the silhouettes, trying to decide which personality was which. And then you go to the back end, and the cloud is there, and there's the big eyeball, and the eyeball is actually destroying part of the barcode, and it's a really fun cover. So my book, if you don't know anything about it, is I'll just tell you briefly. It's about a doctor named Franklin Bryce, who is a therapist, and he works. He's a psychologist. He's a therapist, and he works for an interdimensional psychiatry firm called Vlachterman. And they help out people from alternate dimensions trying to live on Earth, and they help out people on Earth trying to cope with the fact that there are alternate dimensions. And then there's this girl, hence the title, named, because the title says girl, and there's a girl in it, and her name is Helena Catherine. And she has 7 first names because she has 7 multiple personalities. And then and then on the back, we have a quote from in the book that says, "People with 2 first names are always trouble." That's kind of this like multiversal constant in my book, in the multiverse, where if you have a first and a last name that both could be 2 first names, your entire life will be wrought with trouble. Bad things will happen to you. It's this big thing that everybody thinks is real that may or may not actually be true. You know what I mean? But people are scared of it. It's like walking under ladders, or black cats crossing your path and things like that. But anyway, it's about 400 pages. It's longer now. It's not actually longer now. It's thicker. The book is thicker. There's more pages. But anyway,
more of an accomplishment.
If you're not really. If you're wondering about the difference between the two, especially if you've already gotten the first one and you're in the original, and you're wondering, well, should I buy this other edition? You definitely don't need it. It's the same book. I mean, it is the same book. It's more polished. I had an editor on this one. Obviously, I had editors on the last one, but I had a professional editor on this one. And I gotta be honest, I was embarrassed by a few things she caught from the other one. I was like, oh no, really? And I published it like that. But anyway, so the first one is polished. This one is professional. I'm gonna call it professional. I think it is. And anyway, there's a few things added here and there. I put a couple extra jokes in it here and there when I was going through and doing some rewrites she asked me for. Content-wise, it's exactly the same. I think there is exactly one thing that's different content-wise, and I'll even tell you briefly, real quick, kind of what it is if you're wondering, so that you don't think, if you've already bought the book.
Spoiler.
No, well, it's only a slight spoiler. I'm not even going to tell you exactly what it is, but this is just me trying to prove that I'm not trying to hawk this off to all the people that have already bought it. If you've read the book, you've read the book. You don't have to have this.
If you've read the book, you need this one for completion's sake.
No, you don't. Stop it. I'm trying to be nice to people. Anyway, so I did this goofy thing. The book is pretty goofy, okay, but I did this thing that was goofy even for this in the original version, where Franklin. It's revealed briefly that at one point, or rather, Franklin actually time traveled to go back and try to stop his father from dying, which kind of backfired, because he ended up actually being the cause of his own father's death because he tried to go back in time travel.
I remember that happening to me, man.
And my editor and I talked about it and decided that it was a little bit too melodramatic the way it was in the book, and it didn't really need to be there, and it was also a little too dark for this material. So to be just, because it was a throwaway, it was like 2 paragraphs. It was just a throwaway thing. Oh yeah, and here's this odd character development for really no reason other than this is why time travel is bad. So anyway, that's not there now, and I think that there is a far more amusing and bizarre change to why Franklin went back in time. So anyway, Franklin still went back in time, but I changed why. So anyway, but that's pretty much the one content change. Everything else is pretty much the same. So anyway, if you'd like to get this, it covers for $13. If you buy it directly from me, I'm going to give it to you for free shipping. You're actually going to get a signed copy of this from me cheaper than you can buy it on Amazon, because I can actually sell it to you. I can sell the ones I have a little bit cheaper. So you'll get this for $13. That's including shipping if you buy it directly from me on the website. Just go to wearegeeks.nerds.com. Or if you prefer to get it from Amazon, you can go there, and it's... I don't want to quote you wrong, because I think it might even be a little bit more expensive than cover on Amazon. I'm not sure. I forget now, because again, we just put it out. So anyway, but that's the deal. So yeah, that's the new version.
Go to Amazon and look it up, see what you find.
That's the new version of my book. If you like hokey science fiction with still some character development and what I think is a decent plot, by The Girl with 7 First Names. I'm very proud of it, and I'm more proud of it now because I think it looks way cooler than it ever did before, and this edition is just really lovely. So more or less, I'm just recommending it now because it looks a lot prettier than it used to. So anyway,
it's very pretty.
Yeah, so that's what I recommend. Again, I apologize for the shameless self-promotion, but I had to mention it somewhere on the channel, and so that's where it is. So anyway, check that out. Hope you like it. And we're also going to offer an odd, fun deal on this a little bit later. Expect a video coming about that shortly. Anyway, that's it. So thanks a lot for watching us recommend things. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
We'll see you next time.